The final thing for me in 2026 is really just to get more organized. As you can see here, I am still a mess.
I did an entire video sort of going through what you can expect from...
We are back on track because I'm bringing to you reason number 11 why Wonders of the First is the greatest collectible card game ever.
Everything I'm about to show you is already public knowledge, and yet almost nobody is talking about what it means for competitive play in 2026.
Hey everybody, this is Slappy White, and this is Creators of the First. That's a little taste of all the creators who are on this panel. Normally Carolina Girl, Wonders Workshop, Grace, the 5 other names she goes by. Usually she joins us, but those are some of the videos that these folks dropped in the last month. Last week. You can check out all their video content in the description of this video. It's there already. Make sure you're subscribed to Radish, but subscribe also below. Quick programming note to all the Boba fans out there. This will not be Bo Battle Talk for the next hour. This is Wonders of the First. So would love for you guys to stick around. Ben from Be a Hero Gaming, you can see all that great Bojax behind him. Maybe he's going to rip a pack for us and like talk about how it relates to Wonders. No, he's not going to do that. But we have a special guest today, HonestAF. He was the champion of the Dragon Cup in Las Vegas. For Wonders. So we're excited to have him. Before we get started, we're under a tight deadline. Ben's being a responsible person. So we're going to try to close up in 30 minutes. But there was a little teasing going on before. And I was thinking we really should go live with that, Capricorn, when you were doing that. Ben, what were you teasing Capricorn about? Or which way was it going?
Well, I don't. For those who were on the last stream, you might have heard Capricorn say that he just can't resist offering people some advice when they're playing. And I love that about him. I think that's awesome. And I was wondering if that was what pushed him over the edge in his match against HonestAF. I don't know, just some thought. But he claims, what does he claim?
If you're wondering that what got Honest the win was me trying to teach him, that would be very far from the truth, my friend. I learned a couple of things in that game. It was a doozy.
Say more.
All right. Well, it's I wanted to a little bit later. I'm going to tease you. So Radish has we put out a Wonders of the First Christmas album, and starring tracks by several people, including the creators on the stage. On HonestAF accepted, of course, he's a guest. So they each have a song, but I will tell you right now, the Sneaky Joe Christmas song is going to get stuck in. It's going to get stuck in your head, and he takes a major poke at Capricorn in his song.
Really?
Yes. We'll play a little taste of that a little bit later, but let's get to the real content. All right. So
I'm thinking I need a remix.
All right, so HonestAF is that there are 2 things we want to cover. Of course, everybody on this stage, they're hardcore players. Like I enjoy playing, but I'm a neophyte compared to everybody on the stage. Certainly you, Dragon Cup winner. So I want the human interest side of it. So you come out of nowhere, you're the Dragon Cup World Cup champion, and everybody wants to know like who is HonestAF and where did he come from? I know the Google King, he shared he had a great video, which we'll see if we have time to share here during the show, talking about your entry into Wonders of the First, and I believe it started in Baltimore at the SCG Con. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. That's the first time I played. I learned the night before playing the sealed 10K on that Sunday, and I managed to come in second in that tournament.
Wow. And why were you attracted to it? Like what kind of player before? A Magic player, a Flesh and Blood, or?
Yeah, I came from a Magic background, a pro Magic player, and I had heard from a teammate who had tried the game in Orlando. He thought the game was really fun. He also had played a sealed, and I had been at the SCG Con, and I saw that the 10K was happening on Sunday. I hadn't made day 2 of the Magic event, so I was like, why not give it a shot? You know, I'm here. It seems like it could be something, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Wow. All right. And so how much practice did you do between Baltimore and because Baltimore was, I'm trying to think, I went to that as well. Ben was there. Capricorn was there. But how many months was it? 2 months between events?
Was it a 2
August
months?
to October.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I think it was maybe even less. Let me see. I can double check on the
No,
calendar
no, that's
here.
okay. My point is, I want to know how much practice you got in. So you go to Baltimore, you like it, you say, this is for me. How much practice were you able to get in, and where did you practice? Just online? Of course, you and I are from the same place, Burlington, Vermont, not to dox you, but like, if you're going down, what's the name of that store on Lower Church Street? Is it still there?
HonestAF games.
Yeah. They're not playing it, are they?
No, not yet. And there's also Vermont Gaming Academy at the mall. Shout out to them. I haven't talked to them quite yet, but I feel like they've got a good community for a couple card games. Maybe we can bring wonders there to Vermont. My prep for the tournament mostly involved becoming slightly obsessed with learning the cards. I went through and read all of the cards, and then I did a couple of different sorts to try and build decks. I had reached out to some people. The first part of preparing for this tournament was trying to get cards to be able to play in the Dragon Cup, because you can't just waltz in without a deck. You need to have your deck be OCMs. You have to have the stone foil to play, and then the rest of it has to be formless foils. Which is no small task. So I was reaching out to the community. Ramon was extremely helpful, connecting me with some people. I worked with Derek, the Google King, DeBlore, and just borrowing various copies of cards, even the night before the actual tournament, just one-ups from people to get the deck together.
Wait, hold on. This is the obligatory time where Capricorn's going to give us the smallest violin story and tell us about how he was getting cards right up until the judge says start play. Like, do you want to do that now, Cap, or you want to wait till later in the show to bring that up?
Oh, I think you're muted.
I think Cap sounds pretty good tonight. Whatever you did with your mic, keep that up.
no, I think
Jeez.
you like that. I think all of us that were competing in the Dragon Cup had some sort of story like that. I think everyone was scrounging, some more than others, but I think everyone was trying to come up with cards. The one thing I will point out, though, is I did end up coming up with a Sky Wraith to loan Honest.
Yeah,
for his
yeah. You didn't think that would come back, did you? But
I feel pretty
there it
good
was.
about that. Yeah, I mean, see, but that's to me, that's an example of like how cool the community is for Wonders, where it's like my first thought wasn't like, oh, there's a really competitive player here and I need to make sure that like he has the least chances of being able to beat me as possible. It was like, no, let's make sure everyone can compete at the highest level possible. Let's make sure whoever's the winner deserves to be the winner. And that was absolutely Honest. So
it was your deck, right? It was your deck. You didn't borrow cards from somebody else. You weren't a driver of someone else's car. It was your deck.
for me,
For Honest.
I did borrow cards for the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, I borrowed entirely from Zarek, DeBlore, and Google King mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was unfeasible for me. I mean, I still don't have a collection to my name, which I think is one of the coolest things about this game. That's the focus on there being collectors, and there's collectors and players, and if you work together, then I don't personally have any interest in the collector side of things. I like playing the game, but if I can show up and they can hand me the cards, and then we can work out a little split or something on the side, that sounds great to me.
The thing that was crazy to me was when I saw, because I was trying to think, HonestAF, do I know who that is? And I saw the picture, and I remember seeing you at Baltimore, and I was thinking that can't be the same guy, because every time I watched him play, he just kept asking questions like, how do you do this? And how do you do that? And how does this work? And I'm thinking, is that the same guy that was trying to figure it out in Baltimore? And then he goes and wins the whole thing in Vegas? Man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I'm a huge advocate for using your resources, and one of those resources are the judges in the tournament, and they're there to help. And you gotta be asking your questions. If you don't know how the mechanic works, then they're there to help you. I think I had several times where I had to look up the text on the cards. I kept forgetting the mana cost of the T set. Very frustrating card to think about. And even like there's going to be little interactions that you miss when when you're testing. I have to apologize for not getting to help you play test on Friday in Vegas when you asked me to, honest, but it seems you did well enough without me.
Yes, it
That's
does.
right.
Thank you, Calderon. It's I appreciate that. But you asked earlier about my preparation for the tournament. Um, my preparation was, yeah, like I said, obsessing over the card list, building some. The way I went about it was open up a bunch of deck lists and organize what I think are the strongest cards, and then try and like kind of like a min max of what are the most overpowered cards relative to the DBs. Um, and then try to kind of shove them all into the same deck, if you will. I thought that the combo with John, Breakbang, Pastel Bloom Drake, and Old Man was a very strong, potent combo. I kind of wanted to start there and then build the deck outward. And then I tried to get some, once I had a version of the deck that I was liking, I tried to get some opponents on tabletop. I did not end up getting to play too many games with the deck. It was mostly theory crafting. I think I taught my friend to play, so we played his first game. And I did that with two friends. So I played 2 games Thursday, my friend's first game, and then I played 3 games online. So I played 5 games in
Wow.
total.
That's crazy.
Were there any cards as you were in the deck building process beyond that you were like, oh, I don't know about this card. I don't know if I should include it. And it ended up being like a huge payoff for you in all your matches?
Let me just really quickly pull up the deck because that's a great question.
If only someone would make all the Dragon Cup decks top 8s, put them on cardio. Maybe
This is
someone in the comments.
Honest, a great question to ask you. When people are saying, you can see Ben go, wow, when you said you had played 5 games. So we hear all the time Texan and Ben talking about 5D chess with players like Capricorn and Sneaky Joe. So can you just remind folks? I think we know what your occupation is, but what is it, or your degree? Your degree in?
I have a degree in data science.
Yeah, but didn't you? I heard you specialize in what fields though within data science?
I specialize in machine learning, and I currently work in insurance. Is there something else you were referring to, I guess?
Nope, that's okay. But you deal with
Yeah.
data and numbers, so when you're looking at these cards, you're seeing zeros and ones. You're breaking it down to figure it out.
Oh yeah. I mean, the cards look cool, but to me, it's just all rules text. It is all the numbers. I would be okay with playing with cards that didn't have pictures and they just just had the white and black text on them. I think
Well, see,
that's what the game really becomes when you try to think about it super analytically.
He's literally like Neo from Matrix, talking about the fact that once he took the pill, and he's like, I didn't even realize there's art on these cards.
I'm curious.
Well, no, it's crazy because I feel like when I make a deck, in my, less than smart mind, will feel like this is the greatest deck ever. And I'll put it together, and within a few turns already, this deck's terrible. Like, why did I think this deck was going to be good? And so it's pretty wild that you put this deck together, only played it a few times, and were able to do so well with it. And also, it sounds like, I don't know if this is correct or not, it sounds like when you originally put it together, you were just putting whatever in there, regardless of color or whatever. You just tried to put all the good cards in one deck. Is that what you were saying earlier?
Yeah, I thought that the power level differences in some of the cards was really drastic, and that the restrictions on color was able to be minimized. So there's already a lot of the best lands that you want to include that span different orbitals. And if you're going to be including, your Indra Citadel and your Ethereal Growth and your Clear Sky Eerie, then why not include cards from all the different orbitals? You have enough of consistent card draw to see them that at some point in the game you're probably going to be able to cast your core cards when you need to. So I just think right now, with the way that the decks look in the meta, the cost for not including cards of many different orbitals is too low.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm actually curious. Are there other games that you have played, like aside from Magic the Gathering and Wonders of the First? Do you come from a background of playing anything else?
I mean, I've played Magic since I was like 10 years old. I've tried various other card games briefly. I tried Flesh and Blood. I was taught by Simon Nielsen, who is a big name in the Magic community, and then also in the Flesh and Blood community has won some events. So he was a good teacher for that game, but I haven't actually played in a tournament for that. And I haven't really been involved in many other games up to this point.
It seemed to me, from my perspective, that you were very good at being analytical with the cards and figuring out where the resource management mattered, what cards would maximize your ability to control that, and at the lowest DBS cost. That's what it seemed like your deck really kind of came out of.
Yeah, I guess. Well, if we're talking about board games, then that's a whole different world. I've played a lot of board games. I was noticing there's some board games behind you there, Ben. I've played those, and I think you can approach Wonders if you're learning it for the first time in a similar way to learning a new board game, where you identify, all right, what are the important resources? What is the victory condition? And what are the transfers between resources, and which is the most efficient way to do that. Games like Terraforming Mars, that's like been a game I've played a ton of, if any of you have heard of that one.
The problem with that is, though, and this is the thing I struggle with, is my mind's capacity is very limited. So where you have over 400 cards to deal with, that's a lot. But I agree, when I learn a new board game, my mind is instantly, just thinking just that. What's the victory condition? Where are the resources? How can I maximize this? What do I want to do differently that maybe other people aren't thinking of? Because a lot of times people will go right to the obvious choice. Well, I'm going to go for this. And so I think, what am I going to do that's going to be different? But for Wonders, man, it took a lot of deck making for me just to figure out, and going to the tournament and seeing what other people play. But it sounds like, do you think it was helpful to play in Baltimore and kind of see what people played, or was that not even on your radar? Were you just looking for, how am I going to make a deck to win?
In Baltimore was crucial, I think. Just getting that first tournament experience with the game, even if it wasn't constructed format. I think the hardest part of the game picking up for me was understanding when I want to leave a stone in the neutral position versus when I want to make an attack or take it back. Like, that part was, and still is, the trickiest facet, I think, of the strategy. At a certain point, I think you can kind of realize, if I take a stone from them here, then I can get them to trade one action for one action. And you want to do that if you are ahead on actions, because reducing the number of total actions in the game is going to allow them less chance to get back into the game.
Right. And that's true. That I've gone back and forth that strategy. Originally, I thought, take as many stones as you can from the beginning. And then I thought, well, wait a second. If you take a stone that they take from you, you're going to have to use another action to take it back. So it was a waste of that first action to take it in the first place, because now you got to take it back. So I think that's huge. And it sounds like nobody has the answer on when to take the stone, when to leave it. I don't know if we're jumping ahead of ourselves, but I want to know your opponents. Were you nervous when you saw Capricorn in the finals? Were you thinking, oh, this guy's... Did you know that he was good? Did you know? You had to know, right?
Yeah, going into the tournament, I knew my biggest competition would be Capricorn Sneaky Joe. And so I was not surprised to see Capricorn as my finals opponent. Um, yeah, I was definitely I wasn't gonna underestimate him. I mean, I think that it could have gone either way. If we played that match out again, I'm sure there's a percentage of the time either of us would win.
Humble. That's great.
Was there ever a game leading up into the championship or even the championship where you thought, "Oh man, I might actually lose this one"? Like, was there ever a time like you had to really sit there and finagle your way out? You really thought you had a losing position on your back foot?
So there was a funny moment in I think it was in the second round where I use a Nexus, and the opponent is playing a Heliosynth deck that's really based around items. They had like the Dimensional Piercer and the Knievel Wanderer and the Utterly Complex Compound Bow. So I played a Nexus, which removes an item, and then you can create a copy of an item that's in Banish. And I realized that I needed a foil copy token, and I didn't have it on me. I had it in the room, but so the ruling was that I wasn't able to create a copy token,
Ooh.
and which Nexus is a really good card. So even just being a 3 mana 2/2 or 2/2 power that can grow and destroy an item is still pretty good, but that made that game much harder to win than it would have been, as I ended up portaling. I played 2 Nexuses and then portaled them 2 Nexuses, so I ended up having like 4 Nexus triggers that game. And if I had been able to make copies, it would have been much easier.
And it's important to note that not having a copy token was specific to the Dragon Cup, where you needed to have a formless foils in your token deck or OCMs. In a
Yes.
normal game, you can just use anything. You can use a die, you can use an upside down card. It was just in the Dragon Cup that you needed to have that specific copy token.
Yes,
Good
yeah,
point,
and
good
I
point.
wasn't unaware of that going into that round. And also, the copy token had a problem on cardio where it wasn't able to be registered even. So
Crazy. I want to know from Capricorn, when you saw him start to play cards, was it kind of what you expected, or were you thinking, "Whoa, what's this guy got going on? What's happening here?"
Conceptually, the deck looked very similar to my own.
Okay.
It didn't necessarily have all of the same cards, but it had a lot of the same concepts. There was a lot of action negation and action generation and just ways to get. Really, it just boils down to like, how can I get the most actions worth of value with the least actions worth of cards? And very, very early, he dropped a bow, an utterly complex compound bow. And that literally changed the entire course of the game, because I spent the first half of the match trying to turn that against him as best I could, trying to bait him into dumping as many actions into the bow as possible, knowing that my deck was really good at taking away his actions later on in the game. And so if he spent too many actions on the bow, he wasn't growing his board state in Realm 2 and Realm 3 and Realm 4. He was just hunkered down in 1, constantly giving him reasons to swing there. And I was like, if I can just get him to waste enough actions here, by the time he wants to play stuff, I know I'll have ways to take away his other actions then, and he won't have enough left. And but I got a little greedy with it. So it was a really crazy game. It was a really weird game right from the start, where I think if you were watching from the sidelines, not a lot was happening at first for quite a while. Very little tiny pivot moves, just to try to bait the other person into doing things. Very, very 4D chess. It was all about action economy and trying to diminish that as much as possible, and it was very difficult.
It's quantum wonders. It's quantum wonders. You're playing in different realities, going
Quantum
through
wonders.
different qubits of information.
Quantum
It's more than
yeah,
4D
that's
chess.
the term, Capricorn. Yeah. I felt it was like classical chess, where it was I loved being able to take our time in that game. The untimed matches,
2.5 hours.
Oh, is that what it was?
It was a
Oh,
long, it was a long one.
man.
I wondered how it would play if we were forced to play faster. I think it would have been probably not as interesting. I don't know. I mean, who's to say? But it's nice being able to play without a timer sometimes.
Wow.
Was there a common mistake that you saw, or a common method of playing that you saw opponents make that you consistently capitalized on, or was there something that you kept seeing people do that you're like, yeah, keep doing that?
Great question.
Yeah, a lot of people played into my Crimson Marauder, which is the card that gains control of lands in the realm where it's played. And if you're not ready for that card, then it can be an enormous blow. If you get to take 3 lands or 2 lands, that's one of them's an Indra Citadel, or even just an Indra Citadel, that's like a 4-action swing, and that can easily be a decider.
Boom.
When I played, I think that something that I was doing that probably not everybody in the tournament was thinking about was, at every point you have to think about what is the best play my opponent can make and how can they come back into this game. Like, even when you're winning, you got to be thinking, what can my opponent do, the absolute best thing that could get them back into this game right now. You can't get complacent even when you're ahead. So just thinking of the best counter cards for every situation, stuff like Crimson Marauder, stuff like Caliph, when you don't want to expose your Indra Citadel. Blazafel, I knew that was in your deck, Capricorn, going into that final, so I was expecting to see that in round 6. Yeah.
But that's a great point too, because initially when we first started playing, we would save all of our lands to the end, to the very end, and we'd have 12 actions at the end of the game. And again, this is just me in my microcosm basement playing, but going to tournaments and finding out that is not a good idea. That is a terrible idea, because people will put down Path of Light, they'll put down the Murkmire Incarnate, they'll do a Crimson Marauder, and they'll just take everything from you. It's a terrible idea. And so then it becomes this balancing act of using your actions, but not too many, so you still have some towards the end. But another question I have that I didn't even think of until just now is the deck lists were available. Is this something that you guys looked at before you played? I mean, were you looking at each other's decks? Was that posted or something, or how did that play out?
Deck lists were not made available for us during the tournament. I think we each had played next to each other throughout the tournament enough that we were able to pick up some of the stuff that was going on in other games.
Okay.
If you finish your match, you can go and watch some of the matches that are still going on. But I think that would change the game a lot if the deck list became available, and it's definitely a conversation for the future.
I have mixed feelings. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't made available. I mean, it's one thing to sit there and be able to know what's going in versus in the heat of the moment when you're in between matches and you've got to go and mentally look at what everyone's doing. I don't know if you want to take notes or anything, like specifically take notes like, oh, Sneaky Joe's playing Cosmic Cataclysm, but to sit there and in the moment, try to scope out at least maybe what to expect versus what others, kind of a general meta. Rommel had a good question. Do you feel land destruction is less of a feel bad in Wonders than MTG? What's MTG? What is that? Is that like Wonders?
But Luminous Scarab is, I guess, the equivalent. Luminous Scarab is a pretty feel bad card to play against. That card is extremely powerful.
And Cap loves that one.
Yeah, that I think in the quarterfinals, the opponent got the Aluminum Scarab on turn 2, and I thought, okay, maybe this is it. Then Path of Light, yeah, Murkmire. I think that the land destruction is more powerful in Wonders than Magic. But you can usually recover from really things that feel like the end in Wonders aren't always. Like, you can come back for some pretty bad situations. I think Like our game in the finals, Capricorn was a great example. I drew one land in the top, I think, 15 cards of my deck that game. And that's part of why I had to draw with the bow so much. I just needed to find the lands, and but I was able to make a big comeback because of some of the cards, like the
How many
betrayer.
lands were in your deck? Do you remember how many lands total in your deck? About?
I think there were probably like 18.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. And one land in the top 15 cards. Wow. Eesh.
It was quite unfortunate. Maybe not quite 8. Maybe it was like 14. I think if I were to go back and make changes, this is after the tournament, I went back into my deck and I tried to think about what I would change just as a fun exercise. I would play more lands. Lands are really good.
How soon did you do that? Honest, but how soon did you go back and think about how you would change your deck? That night, that weekend, the following Monday?
I think I did it later that night.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Champ.
He's like the boxer that gets done with a boxing match, and then he's like in the corner jump rope and doing double unders, after his match.
It's just like it's so fun. It's like, oh, I could have made this deck even better. Like,
that's crazy, man. Look at that.
Well, let me ask you this: if someone like was handed the deck that you used, what mistakes would they make with it? What separates how you were playing it from how you think a normal player would play it?
We cast the card Glasswing Cockatrice, and I realized very early on that card should just not be in the deck, and if I drew it, I was never going to play it because it is so... it was not... but joking aside, I think like using cards like the Wind Reaver very carefully, because that's like your form of removal. I had Wind Reaver, I had Razia, and the Nexus for items, and the Skywraith, I guess. And aside from that, the deck doesn't really have any removal. So when you do have those cards, you need to make sure you make them count.
Now, it sounds like you had a lot of on arrival stuff. Did you have something to do with Galactic Sovereign Throne that nullifies on arrival stuff as if it's untapped?
Yeah. If they put up the throne, it would have been annoying. Some of the cards are on play, like the Skywraith is on play, so that it would be able to deal with it. You can also try and bait them into getting the throne tapped. Like if they go throne, and I really need to have my on arrival cards, maybe I can play a Kalith and try to get them to tap the throne. And then if they tap the throne, then I can Nexus the throne.
Or you can just tap the throne with Kalith.
Yeah, you can tap the throne with Kalith. Yeah, that also works.
Yeah.
Okay, I would prefer
like
not to do that because then you actually kind of lose actions. If they tap the throne for you, then you still get your untap on Kalith and your Indras.
Makes sense, yeah.
But that's a great is the distinction between a champion, how a champion plays a deck. And how an intermediate.
What is
the fact that he wouldn't use his Kalith to tap the throne? He'd try to think multiple turns ahead, force them into a position where they want to tap the throne themselves, so that he can still leverage the Kalith's ability to get extra actions.
And that's what I was just going to say too. I think Texan had a great question because it depends a lot on the player. Really does. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could have the greatest deck ever and put it in the hands of somebody, even who has a good knowledge of the game. And let's see, if one understands to reward card game experience more than most games, it's true. I mean, it really depends on how you play in the deck because you got the tools, but if you don't know how to use the tools, you're not going to do well.
Yep, that's it. Roll it. Wrap it up, Slappy. That's it. We're done.
All right, thanks. All right, well, so Ben, I know you can't stay with us too long. Can you stay with us a little bit longer?
Yeah, I couple more minutes before my wife comes down and gives me the look.
well, so honest. We have the next thing coming up. There's a couple SCG cons. There's the Shattering. Are you going to plan on attending any of those events?
Yeah, I'm currently planning to attend the Shattering, and I'm likely going to be in Atlanta. Portland, we'll see. I hope to be there, but it is a further flight for me from here in Vermont.
Were you going to be in Atlanta regardless, or are you more likely to be there now because of your experience with Wonders? I'm just curious. Would you have gone anyway?
I don't think I would have gone anyways. I think that I would probably go just for the Wonders.
Okay. And are you already talking with Zarek, by the way, about being on the team for next year and partnering with him?
We're in talks right now with a couple different people. I'm hoping to have an announcement soon about teams for next year.
Whoa.
Everybody wants you to drive their car now.
And so is this just you switching team ownership, or are you also putting together your own team, bringing a stable with you? And are these people from the community, or are these more of our sisters' fiancés? Are you bringing more people over, like the person who introduced you to Wonders?
I haven't been able to recruit any of my Magic friends to join like full time, to like commit to Wonders. I've been slowly getting them introduced. I was just at the Magic World Championships 2 weekends ago, or was it past weekend? I don't. And I taught Wonders to quite a few of the people there.
Cool. What was tell us the feedback from the people who you taught it to, and you can be honest.
Yeah,
He is honest.
I'm honestly, I'm obliged. I think that some of the people thought that initial reactions to some of the cards were similar to mine. Like when I first read Moonfire Crystal Mouse, I thought, wow, this card is just completely insane and unbeatable. Like whoever draws more Moonfire Crystal Mouse must win. So I think that was some of the reactions, is just like reading specific cards and thinking, wow, this is like totally unbeatable. I guess I didn't realize how much play there is to the game where you really can beat most things if you play well. That was a lot of the reactions I was getting. It was oohs and ahs over, oh, old man puts 28 power into play on turn 2. That's insane, right?
And was there any? So there were a lot of oohs and ahs. That's positive. Who was the person you had the hardest time convincing to give it a try? What was their one issue? There's got to be somebody who was a holdout. You're crazy.
I mean, people were skeptical of the game's longevity. I think that a lot of these enfranchised Magic players have been playing the game for so long, and they've seen that the game has survived past other card games that have tried to usurp or join it among the forefront of competitive TCGs and CCGs. So when they see something like Wonders that's only been around for 2-ish years, they think, oh, this is a flash in the pan. Why would I commit more time to learning this game when it's going to be gone?
Sure.
And I think the prize money is interesting to a lot of them as well. So yeah, there's some hesitation there.
Sure, because of the commitment. And let me ask you this. We always look at Brian Tinsman as spearheading the game side of Wonders of the First. How does that play out? Did that mean anything to you based on all of his years working for Magic and the fact that he's invested himself into this?
Talked to Brian in Las Vegas about some of his design philosophies on the game, and it was a really cool conversation, thinking about like all the potential options for where Wonders can go. I wouldn't say it was a huge influencer for me upon initially learning about the game. For me, it was just more trying the game myself and getting a feel for it than.
Well, speaking of the future of the game, is that Rommel asks, if you could request a card in a future set, what would it be? So obviously you're looking at ones and zeros. So you're just going to give it straight. So tell us in ones and zeros, what card would you like to see in the future?
Okay. What cards do I like to play?
And wait,
with
and,
Gravity?
while you're thinking about that, here's a question for you, Ben. Do you think, I think it's too late for the printing presses. Do Dragon Cup winners and Stoneseeker Cup winners, do they get their own card in the next set that they print? I mean, and should they? I mean, I think they should, right?
Oh, I don't know, man. That's crazy. That would be really cool, but I don't know. It'd be cool
Maybe that should be the consolation prize for the runners up.
for the second place guy. That's what it should be.
All right, let's ask let's go honest. What would you, Ramel asked, what would you like to see in a future set?
The design space is just huge. The kind of cards I like doing really convoluted combos that are not immediately obvious. So some complicated card that has to do with untapping lands or searching lands in the library, or like some exchange of energy and drawing cards. That's something like that would be pretty cool.
I've wondered about the search the library thing. That would be huge because Magic has a few of those cards. Pokemon has a ton of cards like that where you just go to your deck and find the card you need. I almost feel like it'd be too much in Wonders. If you could go through and take a card out, ooh, I just feel like it'd be way too powerful.
It's true. I mean, and the not having to ever shuffle in the match does reduce the time it takes to play. I think that is kind of nice.
We are sort of getting a compromise to that in a way with Stone Seekers and Call of the Stones because they have multiple different story tokens and you can choose which one you search up and play. So
and that's a really unique mechanic too, because I mean with Magic and you're playing Commander, you can summon your commander, but you have the one card and that's it. But with the Stone Seekers and you have this deck of, you know exactly what's in there. You've got a bunch of options. You can just search through and take them out. So who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens with that, but that's going to be cool.
I think related, not even a specific card. I think what would be really cool would be to see Wonders try and expand into draft over just sealed. Like if we got draft top 8s, if that was a possibility, that would be awesome.
Draft would be cool.
Can you guys explain that to the people who don't understand what drafts are? Draft 8s?
Yeah, it's so as an alternative to a sealed where you just open your 6 packs and then build the deck from those cards. The way a draft usually works, you open one pack, pick one card from that pack, and then you have a circle with 8 people or some number of people that you pass the remaining cards from that pack, and then you take one card from the next, and you keep passing in a circle, and you do that 3 times until you end up with a set of cards, and that becomes your deck.
Wow. That would be really interesting because you're saying that, honest, like you care nothing about collecting, and it's first of all, I don't agree with that. It's just we can get into your mental state another time, but I will pick it apart. And you are definitely a collector. But
you sound like a therapist. We'll address that at a different time.
But I appreciate that Texan and Capricorn and Ben. I was thinking in my head, like, obviously it's a no-brainer. If there's a stone foil, you rip the pack and there's a stone foil, you're taking it.
Don't draft with collector packs. Don't play sealed with collector packs. Don't draft with collector packs. Play packs.
I know if it's an OCM.
I will stand on this soapbox and say it again. Stop it.
If it's an OCM, Capricorn is like, I mean, if it's not for the Dragon Cup, I even think Capricorn's going to take the OCM instead of the card that completes his deck. So I'm just curious, like, where it would end. Like, if it was Formless Foil Mythic, would you not? But
it's going to be hard pressed to not take the card if it's worth more than, $200. And if it's worth that much, there's a good chance it's like a relatively good card too. So
right.
Well, that could pay for a bunch of drafts, right? So
yeah,
think of it that way.
That would get interesting. That would get interesting if you're drafting collector packs. I know, Texan, you disagree, but if you're drafting collector packs and you pull out that Formless Foil that you need, I need this card for my collection, but it's not going to really help my deck, but I need it. That would get
ruins
crazy.
The draft. It ruins the draft.
It
All right, I got one last. I got one last question for Honest. Right now, when we talk about you in the Discord or among Wonder's friends, we say Honest is the world champion. He came over from Magic. He's a Magic guy. It always comes out. He's a Magic guy. He's a pro Magic player. How long, brother? And you can tell me no. You can tell me never. How long until you become a Wonders player who also plays Magic?
That's a tricky question. I think it depends on how many more Dragon Cups it takes to win.
He's looking for the three-peat. He's got to be the Michael Jordan, you know?
I think the answering Texan is because you weren't at the Shattering, right, Texan?
No.
Okay, so I can tell you right now, it's the Shattering. He will just picture, I'll put it in terms you can understand. There's a river down in Columbia, South Carolina. At one point of the Shattering, he will have his head dunked under the water. And so when he is baptized and comes out, he will no longer be your sister's fiancé. He will be a Wonders person.
I'm telling you, man, if you're going to the Shattering, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Like, I didn't know what to expect when I walked in. And I walked in and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I didn't even know about the buffet. No one told me about that. And so me and my kids go and get dinner. And we come back and there's this buffet. We're like, why did someone tell me there was food? It's crazy, man. It's such a blast. So much fun.
We got a spoiler from Ramel.
What's he got there?
He says, Honest is a Wonders player to me. I'm not saying he's not a Wonders player. I'm just saying, when does he take the name? But he says, bonus spoiler, there is a card in Call of the Stones that taps 2 enemy lands.
Ooh.
My question is that all it does? Does it maybe tap 2 enemy lands and tap one of yours? Tap 2 enemy lands and then sacrifice a Wonder?
That's why I'm telling you. That's why you got to be using the lands, man. You can't save them. You have to use them.
You gotta use them. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, go ahead, Cap.
I just so I've spoken to Honest behind the scenes, and I've also spoken to Ken behind the scenes, who was the winner of the Stoneseeker Cup, and they've both agreed to play an exhibition match against each other. And maybe, just maybe, how cool would it be if that was one of the events that took place at the Shattering?
Oh, that'd be cool.
So can't say for sure, but if Ramel's listening, and you know he always is, let's talk, Ramel.
I'll vote for that one.
All right. One thing is so we're gonna wrap this up here in just a second, but I want to, before Ben goes, again, we released a Wonders of the First album. It's available everywhere: iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify. But I did want to, before you go, just to get a taste, is that I want you to hear a little bit of a couple seconds. Hold on.
Round the table we gather as the snow starts to fall. Wonders of the first card spread out for us all. Ben reminds every player with a voice warm and clear that the greatest of heroes bring kindness each year.
Could it not have described you any that opening? Does that not describe Ben, guys, in the community?
Too good.
Yeah.
Too good.
Yep.
Now, the song that is going to haunt you, by the way, this is available everywhere now. You can get it. It's Wonders Christmas 2025 under the Radish artist name. So this one, Sneaky Joe definitely sent a message to Cap.
Oh, the tournament's fierce and frightful, but the meta is so delightful. Top cuts where the people wanna go. Sneaky Joe, Sneaky Joe, Sneaky Joe.
You gotta get to the part with Cap. Hold on.
Mythic nights ride for the dreamers. People's champs and shining streamers. We bleed for the underdog glow. Sneaky Joe, Sneaky Joe, Sneaky Joe. First form
core blooms like a tower. Capricorn wields money and power. They crush the small shops down below. Sneaky Joe.
Hold on, there's more. There's more crap. Hold on.
Sneaky Capricorn hunts like Captain Ahab. Sneaky Joe is his great white whale, so sad. Will he ever catch this ghost? And so Sneaky Joe.
Oh my goodness. And then here we've got American Texan. Is Howdy Howdy Wonders Christmas. You want to
Howdy, howdy, gather around the firelight. Candles glowing softly on this cool December night. Shuffle up the cards like drifting winter snow. Hearts all leaning forward for the joy we soon will know.
I gotta tell you, I loved Texan had a traditional kind of Christmas song. That was great. And then here's another song that will get stuck in your head, courtesy of Loco. And the title is Token Drop.
Hounds, wonders humming and shining, stone foils gleam, formless stream, paper rare stacked with pride, mythics blaze, epics raise, every rarity calling, but I wait for a single sight, the token I hold inside. Token copy, it appears when I...
That's too good.
That is absolutely
Bravo. I'm about to make a music video.
So I want to thank, by the way, the folks, Capricorn, American Texan, Ben, for contributing to the album. I also want to thank, there is a song by Wonders Workshop. I will miss everybody. Rommel has one on there. Wicked has one on there. So definitely check that out. Honest is, I'll tell you what, I had to pay all the rights to be a publisher. So people keep saying, next year's album, but I'm going to be putting out an album before then. If I can publish, and it is a lot of fun. So Honest, as the Dragon Cup winner, we'll have to talk later about that. I will put the link to iTunes and everywhere else. I don't have that in the description yet. I'll do that. But Honest, I'll let these guys ask any final questions on the way up, but we always give folks a final chance to say anything. Is there anything you want to say just about Wonders of the First or the community, or anything you just want to speak about?
I'm excited to see what the future of organized play looks like for Wonders. I know that's a big question on all of our minds. I know we just got the first information about what the tournament structure is looking like in Atlanta and Portland, but I think we're going to be hearing more about what the Dragon Cups question mark will look like in 2026. So that'll be exciting to look out for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. All right, Ben, final words or any questions? We're coming to an end, but if you have any final questions for Honest, you can incorporate.
No, again, as far as the community is concerned, I just love the community. It's great to get together, to hear people's thoughts on the game, cards, play, everything. It kind of just rekindles the flame for me of how exciting and cool this game is. I love it.
Hey, and I should say, I feel bad. Actually, real quick, is that I didn't actually put, so Cap is in there, and you'll know Cap. I put you right after Sneaky Joe.
Scared swing, nulling every land you play, my adversary. Every link that you gave will soon be taken away. Walking in a first form wonderland. Snow falls soft on the battlefield. Fate is sealed, every move revealed. You can hear the crunch of the cards as they land. Walking in a first form wonderland.
Awesome. It's like My Chemical Romance or something. Cool.
MCR, Pancake, Fall Out Boy vibes, yeah.
So Cap and I didn't, for some folks I talked about what genre they wanted. Cap and I did not. I was guessing, Cap, like on you, which does that hit you?
I like everything, man. As long as it's got guitars,
I like that
I'm
a lot.
happy.
We need a full Punk Goes Wonders album.
Right. Wonders
I
goes punk.
would agree. All right. Anything final for Honest and any comments, Cap?
I'm just excited for you to go to another Dragon Cup so I can meet you in the finals again and I can gain back some of my respect. So let's make that happen.
But keep in mind, I'm going to be at the next Dragon Cup, so watch out.
Well, let me beat him
Be on the
first, and
lookout.
then you can do what you will. I've got 2 white whales. I got to beat Sneaky Joe first. I can beat Sneaky Joe in Atlanta or in, where's he going to be? Portland. Knock that off my 2026 bucket list, my New Year's resolution. And then the field is wide open. I just need to meet Honest at a Dragon Cup, and all will be right in the world.
All right. Well, before we go on, Honest he brings up a good point, which is, do you feel your level of play? Do you feel like, hey, I got to Wonders first, and now's my chance to capitalize before more Magic people come over here and I won't be able to compete at this level? Or do you feel confident that even if everybody tomorrow from Magic came over and became Wonders people who happen to play Magic too, do you feel like you'd lose that opportunity that you had this year? Do you feel that part of it came from the newness of the game, or do you feel like you'll stand on that champion stand next year?
I think I'll be there next year. I think judging from the people I've taught in Magic who are also at the top level, I think I have a head start. I don't see any reason why I can't take it and run.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Ben, when's your next video, by the way? I forgot to ask you that you're dropping on your station, Be a Hero Gaming, Ben.
Man, you got to know at this point, I am so sporadic. Sometimes I'll post 3 times a week. Sometimes it'll be 2 weeks. I don't know. I like to keep you in suspense.
And you're up to, which actually, Honest, you need to go there. Did you create a special playlist for it, Ben?
Yeah, so I have a playlist. Why Wonders of the First is the greatest collectible card game ever, and I'm up to reason number 11. I got 11 videos about why it's the best game ever.
Yeah. So
actually, don't you have 10 videos? No, you missed one, but then you went back.
I screwed one up. I went ahead. I went from 8 to 10 and had to backtrack to 9 and then do 11. But they're all in the right order.
Fill in the gap. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Honest is looking at his Wonders cards in 1s and 0s, and then Ben's trying to count to 10.
I can't even count to 10. Yeah. I told you.
Hey, we both know I can't compete with you. And then Capricorn, what's your next video coming out? You had a great video talking about the announcement about the shattering that's coming up. Also talking about people can go and look at your recap video from the last shattering as well, which, Honest, that's something you should check out to see what happened at the last shattering. I think Capricorn's exact words were, it was the best time of your life. You said something like, it was the best time I've ever had in my life. I think you said that.
It's equal amounts like pomp and circumstance and just good heartfelt community vibes. It's like it feels you're in a room surrounded by strangers, and yet it feels like you're just like at your kitchen table with all your best friends just hanging out and having a game night. It like combines the best of both worlds. It's hard to explain, but the video does a better job than I'm explaining it right now.
You really sold me on it before. I think that it's going to be a great time, and I want to reiterate here that everybody, I'd love to meet more people. Just come up and talk. If you see me at the next event, I'm totally down to chat.
Hey, he's Wonders royalty, guys, but he talks to the people. He's willing to like shake your hand, right? I'm teasing. Yes, he's human. All right. Well, American Texan, what do you have cooking up next for your content?
As soon as this stream ends, I will be hitting publish on this week's It's a Wonderful Life, going over the events coming up in 2026, a recommendation that I've really come to enjoy as far as preparing, as well as opening up some mail and having something returned to me I'm glad I traded it away because I'm glad with what I got in it, but I chased it and I have it back. It's on the shelf back here, but if you want to see what it is, I'm gonna hit publish as soon as this live stream is over.
Cool.
Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna tune in for that. And of course, you mentioned you received more mail. The problem with you is we saw in your last video, you're good about opening the mail, but then the pile on your desk.
Yeah, still got the pile here. My desk is a mess. It's been a mess since the Houston tournament.
All right. Well, listen, we'll look for that. I'm Slappy White. This has been Creators of the First. I want to thank American Texan from American Texan Plays, Capricorn from Quarantine Capricorn on YouTube. We've got Ben, Be a Hero Gaming, and then a Carolina girl, Grace from Wonders Workshop. She wasn't able to make it this week. We look forward to having her again. Make sure you check out all their content. You can go ahead and look in the description. You'll find the link to subscribe. And especially Honest, thanks for joining us and sharing your thoughts. Love to have you back another time. And we're going to actually close it out with this video that the Google...
Alex,
Yeah, so everybody
HonestAF
and have a great night.
or AP Freeder on Twitter. I just won the Dragon Cup. I'm in a little bit of shock still. It's crazy. I've got this really sick promo card, which doesn't exist anywhere else. The stone foil. I started Wonders in Baltimore, which is the last tournament before this. I learned a game the night before, played through sealed and came in second. The game was really fun, so I decided I wanted to play in this Dragon Cup. Sent a lot of Discord messages trying to get all the cards together, and it totally paid off. I think the best card in the deck was Caliph or Betrayer. Caliph is a card that can produce 2 additional actions on its own if you untap a land that produces 2. And then Betrayer just generates you so much energy that the links start mattering less because you just have extra energy to do whatever you want with. This Scarab I had to face is a really scary card. Wind Reaver is a really scary card. I think the one that really rocked me the most mentally, because I didn't actually ever have it play against, is the Stellar Teacup set. It's just a headache to think about. It can swing any game if you're not ready for it. Yeah, I mean, it's a very intimate experience. The community seems like it's very supportive. Everybody is talking to each other. I've gotten a lot of love, met a lot of cool people. The Wonder staff being right there, being able to talk to them it's been awesome. Shout out to Ramel. Shout out to all of the people I borrowed from, Google King, you, Zarek, D-Blore, Branch, some others. Yeah, it's been great. Capricorn, my finals opponent.
From the clash of wonder, stories burst. Voices rise, creators of the first. Capricorn charts the stars with might, guiding seekers through the night. Be a hero, Ben breaks it down. Gaming wisdom all around. Every card, each pack reverse. He's a guide, creator of the first. Creators of the first. Wonders, wisdom, quenched our thirst. Together we shine, community blessed. With the creators of the first. With the creators of the first. Wonders Workshop, Carolina girl brings light. Sharing secrets, shining light. Sharing secrets, shining bright. Knowledge deep, her voice rehearsed. A champion, creator of the first. American Texan plays it true. Passion for the game shines through. From the heart, his insights burst. A leader, creator of the first. Creators of the first. Wonders, wisdom, quenched our thirst. Together we shine, community blessed. With the creator the stories call. These voices rise to guide us all. Wonders keepers, friendships nurse. We stand with creators of the first.